I think when you look back in the history of our athletic program, there are pioneers, there are visionaries, and then there is Bob. Because Bob not only held the role of athletic director, but Bob was also arguably the greatest coach that we had at Felician College, because, I mean, he was the originator of a dynasty. And dynasties don't come by too often in sports. You know, when the cross-country team started, you know, he recruited terrific athletes, and cross-country championships just came to Felician College very, very quickly. And he was the leader of that pack. And even after he left, the legacy that he put in place was continued by his assistant coach, John Brennan. Clearly, there was no one better in the role of coach in the early part of our program than Bob. And Bob came to us from William Jewell College, a tremendous track athlete, football player, coached an Olympian. His daughter Desi is nodding in agreement with that. That's right, he coached an Olympian. And we knew what we had when we had Bob. And one of the great stories that I have about Bob, because I think he saw something in me a long time ago. We had a problem with a student, and Bob brought the student in the office, and he saw me. He said, "Come here. I want you to sit down. I want you to be in this discussion." And he talked to the student. He counseled him with whatever he did wrong, and he tried to convey a life lesson to him. And the student, you know, heard what Bob said and left. But then he looked at me and he said, "Did you understand? I wanted you here. I wanted you to understand what I was doing." And I don't know if I did or if I didn't at that moment, but I do today. He clearly represents everything that's right about intercollegiate athletics and student athletes, because he did it the right way all the time. And he made sure that all of us as coaches did things the right way all the time. And he instilled those values in his family, and it's wonderful to see all of them tonight. So it's very much an honor to be able to talk about him and to have him be one of the first two inductees into our Hall of Fame. With that being said, I would like to bring up our president, Dr. Prisco, for the award presentation.
Yeah, it's all new to me, so yeah.
So it is with my great pleasure that we induct Robert Symons into Felician College Athletics Hall of Fame. Our first.
I've got a few things to say. I was never much one for really being in the forefront. I always felt like the job I did should be shown through the athletes and the coaches and what the program was trying to show. I sat in the back, I tried to anyway, be in the background and let everything else take care of itself. You know, let the people who are most important shine in those situations. But before I go into it, I must thank Sister Teresa for giving that opportunity to build a program. How special is that? How many people get a chance to? I mean, mine had. Before I came to Felician, I was a coach for many years. 25 years at the college level. Very fortunate, like I said, to coach an Olympic athlete. I was ready to be an administrator, and in my mind, I never liked my athletic director. You never understood what I was going through and things. So I want to make sure this program would be run for the coaches and for the student athletes, based on my experiences that I had. That's what I wanted to instill in the program. And to have the opportunity to build programs from scratch, me set the tone, and do the things, in my mind, the right way to do it, I really appreciate that opportunity that was given to me. And it sounds like I did a good job. You know, you never know. I mean, it was like a carnival show. The first, we had no gym. In fact, we played our first games, Russ, at Bergen Tech. At Bergen, the old athletic director there, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he was very cordial. Sure, you want to play your game? Sure, come play your games here. Well, I got there and all there was an empty gym. I had to lug everything over there. We had shot clocks and stuff. I followed my van and stuff, and off we went and set it up. Russ was always there to help. Russ was always there to help. He was my right-hand man. When I first saw Russ, at one of the faculty first meetings we had, he's got this green hat pulled down. Then he had a big old bushy beard, the long hair, and this green army coat on. I go, what's he doing here? But again, he came up, and then he came up to me and introduced himself and said, "Hey, Bob, anything, we're very happy you're here. Anything you need, you just let me know." And that's how it was from day one. We became very, very close friends. Very close friends. Someone I could always sit down and talk to and moan and groan about some things and stuff. It was good. It was good to have him there. Very special person. But again, I'll tell you what, the experience I had at Felician College, it's something that I'll always cherish. They're always on my mind. Felician College is always on my mind. And again, for you to think of me in this time when you're doing this Hall of Fame, although JR promised me it'd be a lot sooner than this, but anyway. It really is a humbling experience for me, and to see how the program has grown and continues to grow, it says a lot for the people that are as the president had said, the people that are at Felician are very special. This is a very special place. People don't realize that. People don't realize that. I realized that, and I'm not just saying this, I really realized that the first day I stepped on that campus, and that's Sister Teresa, and how supportive and what they wanted to build. I'm very sincere about that. And so hopefully I'm very proud that I'm able to, as Jared said, start a legacy here and it's been carried through. And to see all these faces out here that I haven't seen in a while, and so my cross-country athletes that came by, I really appreciate them sharing this moment with me. Tony Scorchola, him and I are good friends today. And I hired him as our soccer coach. Him and I have been close ever since. And so a lot of good friendships, a lot of great memories. Heather McCullough, again, we're so lucky to get her when we did. We actually hired a young lady, and I kicked myself for hiring this young lady because we should have had Heather. That young lady didn't work out. I went back to Heather and said, "Sure, I want to work here." I go, "Thank God." I made a mistake, but you live and learn. But things all worked out. And when I left Felician, as hard as it was for me to leave Felician, I knew they were in good hands. Heather was there, JR was there, and the coaching staff that we had instilled, and the things that were built, I felt comfortable leaving. It was hard, but I knew they were in good hands. So again, I really appreciate this reward tonight, and I'll cherish it very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. At this time, I would like to bring up